Today I wanted to do a series overview of Zyurangers. So I always knew that Power Rangers took source material from Super Sentai, but never really sought out more information or made an attempt to learn more. And after absorbing myself with this for the last month, I just wanted to talk about everything that I've learned. So just for starters, the first 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers took source material from a Super Sentai show called Kyuryu Sentai Zyuranger, which was the 16th season of Super Sentai in Japan. So the production surrounding Power Rangers was super interesting because they had to write completely original stories adapted from the American audience, while weaving in the Japanese footage for the fight scenes as well as the monster battles. So after some research online, the common sentiment was that Zyuranger was relatively low on people's recommendation list, with comments such as it's mostly boring, little character development, with the only worthwhile reason to watch just to see where Power Rangers originated from. So I ended up using a non-filler guide for the season and watched Zyurangers, so I'll link the guide in the description. The first major difference is that Zyuranger has a mythical background compared to the science, technology background from Power Rangers. The main cast are all heroes frozen in time from the time of the dinosaurs, only to be resurrected to fight evil. Rita, or Bandora in Zyuranger, is worth mentioning. She absolutely kills it in every scene that she's in. She pretty much is a Satan-worshipping witch that hates children. There's some really metal scenes where she's bleeding from her eyes trying to summon Satan. The Green Ranger, or Dragon Ranger, the whole saga surrounding him is much more epic in Zyuranger, where it starts off with the Dragon Ranger being revived. He's just pissed off, and at the Red Ranger, and he wants to take over the world for revenge. They even show him hanging out with Bandora at her palace on the moon. So overall, his character development is amazing, and he, along with Bandora, are what I feel some of the brightest parts of the show. What I noticed too was Goldar. He's also more of a badass in Zyuranger. He doesn't speak at all for half the series. Really stark contrast with how they portray him as an idiot in Power Rangers. The Zords are also quite different. They are basically literal gods that fight on their own. And so, what I really liked about it is they showed an origin story for how they gained their weapons, the different, Zords or gods that come into play, and the different combinations that they can form. It's kind of a gradual buildup as the story goes. And, also as a big fan of how Hollywood used to produce films before CGI, this was kind of a joy to watch all the different ways that they were able to use special effects to accomplish certain action scenes, as well as how detailed the monster costumes were. Now, I have to talk about one of my favorite episodes, which is basically Emo Dragonzord, or Dragon Caesar is what they call them in Zyuranger. So the Dragon Ranger ends up dying, and Dragon Caesar is just super depressed, and all the other Rangers are cheering their Zords on, and he kind of just bumbles away like a sad animal. It's just so endearing that these Zords have a personality of their own. It gets really insane towards the end. I mean, Rita literally sacrifices 20 children to summon an Evangelion-type monster that's being piloted by a group of kids wearing Scouters from Dragon Ball Z. And then you have Satan, who gets resurrected, and he's a form of a giant floating head. He's in the battle as well, and he's just wreaking havoc on the Rangers by blowing what I assume is air or some sort of blizzard at them. Overall, highly recommend Zyuranger. I think it's a really fun watch, especially if you like just to see how they did a lot of these special effects back then without CGI. It's really fun to watch how they do it. It's a really solid story from beginning to end. I don't know if it deserves all the criticism, from people. I think it was a really wonderful thing to watch. And it's quick, too, if you use the non-filler guide. So I am starting Die Ranger as my next series. This is basically the series that the White Ranger comes from that was used in Power Rangers. So after I finish that, I might make a video summarizing that as I finish too. So anyways, just wanted to talk a little bit about Zyuranger and hope you guys enjoyed.